You frequently hear about the absurd lengths some actors go to get in character for a particular role. I often find myself saying, really? You know how stories often grow bigger and less factual in successive retellings? I suspect that this is the case with a lot of these stories, because actors can't be this crazy, can they? Have a look at this top 10 list and decide for yourself. To ready himself for his role as the Joker in The Dark Knight Rises, Heath Ledger supposedly disappeared into a motel room in complete solitude for 6 weeks. During this purposeful descent into madness, Ledger delved deep into the psychology of the DC villain. He devoted himself to developing the Joker's every pose, movement, and all his particular tics, including that distinctive voice and the sadistic laugh. Imagine being an unsuspecting pizza delivery guy showing up at that motel room door a few weeks into Heath's seclusion. I'd say Ledger's insane level of effort and attention to detail did pay off, as his portrayal of the iconic Joker was truly amazing and haunting. It earned him a Best Supporting Actor as well. The movie Castaway occurs over the course of almost 5 years. Hanks begins the movie looking like regular old Tom Hanks, maybe a little more out of shape than his usual fighting weight. After years fighting for survival on a deserted tropical island, the actor had to look completely different, especially since many of those island scenes had him shirtless and in only a loincloth. You could fake the hair, but you could absolutely not fake the body transformation. To make himself look like an average sedentary middle-aged man prior to filming, Hanks purposely did not exercise and allowed himself to pudge up a bit. And then after those scenes were in the can, production was then halted for an entire year so he could lose 50 pounds and grow out his hair to get that island-dwelling savage man appearance. Quick reminder, if you like what you're seeing, please remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out. And now we rejoin our list. Rooney Mara, in taking on this role, had a lot of fan expectations to live up to. Fans of both the book series as well as of the original Swedish version of this movie. Now here's a brief aside from me. The Swedish Noomi Rapace series of these films are infinitely better than the American version. I think making a more expensive yet ultimately worse version of this movie was kind of a silly direction to go. I don't know, maybe it made a lot of money, whatever. Digression ends. In preparation for the role of Lisbeth Salander, Mara pierced her face and nipples. 12 piercings in total, supposedly. She bleached her eyebrows, chopped off her hair, and lost weight. She also picked up some new skills, training in martial arts, skateboarding, and motorcycle riding, and learned how to talk with a Swedish accent. The actress also wandered around Stockholm alone to fill Lisbeth's sense of isolation. Side note, my frequent emails to Rooney Mara inquiring whether or not her nipples are still pierced have not received any replies from her. To accurately portray the titular Bridget Jones, Renee Zellweger packed on 25 pounds and then went so far as to actually work at a British publishing company for a month. Celebrities have an absurd amount of free time, don't they? During this stint at work, disguised as a regular person, she adopted an alias as well as a British accent and supposedly wasn't recognized by her coworkers. I say supposedly because, come on, we're supposed to believe they didn't get Jerry Maguire in the UK. I would have recognized her. She does that really distinctive scrunched up face thing half the time. After being cast in Martin Scorsese's Taxi Driver, DeNiro got a taxi cab license and spent a month working 15 hours a day as a cabbie in the Big Apple. Even though he'd recently won an Oscar for The Godfather Part 2, he was only supposedly recognized once. I guess that makes sense since most people were staring at the back of his head during the rides. Further, DeNiro also studied mental illness and PTSD suffered by many Vietnam veterans at the time. All of this intense preparation helped Travis Bickle emerge as a complex, fully formed character and earned De Niro an Oscar nomination for Best Actor.
Do it! Just do it!
The story goes that the day after he got the role, LeBeouf got baptized, got a tattoo, joined the U.S. National Guard, wherein he became a chaplain's assistant. For the next month, he lived on an army base, apparently not thinking that this was enough to fully immerse himself into the role as the Bible-thumping army tanker. He pulled out a tooth and also avoided bathing for 4 months during filming. This definitely sounds like extreme behavior, but LeBeouf felt such a strong commitment to the film. He's quoted as saying, "Fury is the most meat I've ever had to chew on." As far as the whole not bathing thing, in interviews with veteran tankers, he learned that in the war, personal hygiene often fell way down the hierarchy of needs in favor of other considerations like not getting shot, keeping your friends alive, not being roasted alive in a small metal box, things like that. For this movie, vegetarian Leonardo DiCaprio devoured a raw slab of bison's liver on camera. The prop department had created a fake one specifically for this scene, but Leo was concerned that it did not look authentic. Being the A-grade super actor that he is, he decided instead to tuck into the real McCoy. Prior to filming, he learned how to operate and shoot a musket, build a fire without matches, speak 2 Native American languages, including Pawnee and Arikara, and studied with a doctor who specializes in ancient healing techniques. Truthfully, this sounds like he went on one of those modern-day corporate team-building retreats. DiCaprio calls it the hardest performance of his career, and it ended up netting him awards for Best Actor at both the Golden Globes and the Oscars. Adrien Brody portrays a Jewish pianist struggling for survival in the Warsaw Ghetto in Poland during the horrors of World War II. Prior to filming, Brody wanted to deep dive into the feelings of discomfort and deprivation, so to accomplish this, he gave up his apartment, sold his car, and moved to Europe with only 2 bags in hand. Furthermore, Brody went on a crash diet and lost 30 pounds in 6 weeks, weighing 130 pounds at his lightest during the filming. As if all this wasn't enough, he also took piano and Polish dialect lessons to add verisimilitude to the role. His efforts paid off, with the end result being a truly heart-aching movie and also an Oscar for Best Actor. Already having ballet experience in her childhood, Natalie Portman was a great choice for the lead role in Black Swan. Plus, she's Natalie Portman, so always a good choice. Her pre-shoot prep for this movie consisted of over a year of training under former New York City ballet dancer Mary Helen Bowers for up to 8 hours a day, 6 days a week. As if this wasn't taxing enough, Bowers also had Portman supplement the ballet classes with swimming, cross-training, and endurance exercises. Portman did not want to have to take a seat and let a poorly disguised double do all the complicated dance scenes. See Flashdance for an example of how not to do a dance movie. And again, like so many of the actors on this list, we see that dedication, hard work, and craziness truly do pay off, as Natalie won the Oscar for Best Actress. Eddie Redmayne was able to meet Stephen Hawking in person only once prior to filming. He didn't get as much as he hoped for out of the 3-hour interview. Redmayne says he just didn't feel like he could ask the crippled, brilliant physicist truly intimate things, so that was kind of a bust. The actor had to invent other ways to prepare for the role. He met with and interviewed 40 ALS patients, and already a very skinny guy, he lost another 15 pounds and trained for 4 months with a dancer to learn how to better move and control his body. He stood in front of a mirror for hours on end, contorting his face. And lastly, on set, he got really, really method, remaining motionless and hunched over between takes, so much so that an osteopath told him he had altered the alignment of his spine. All of this pain and suffering resulted in a truly great movie and all, but man, actors are crazy. But hey, you guessed it, Eddie Redmayne won the Best Actor Oscar for his portrayal of Stephen Hawking. And that will do it for our show today. Thanks for tuning in, and be sure to like and subscribe. Stay with us in the future as we come out with more intriguing and thoughtful content.